Hey everybody, just go ahead and sharing stuff out right now, so just bear with me a little bit. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Let's see here. Alright, so today pretty much, somebody maybe it won't, I don't know. But I'm going to be rebuilding AR60 laying there on the table. Um, I made a mistake when I was building it up and actually didn't tighten everything down properly. And so basically, the screws that hold the gear on backed out and floppy, and ended up stripping out the internal diff gears, which kind of sucks, but um, it is what it is, I guess. Also, I got a new headset, so hopefully the sound is a lot better than what it normally is. Um, it sounds like it on my end. If you can hear me, if you can let me. See if I got my comments up and working here. And I'm not seeing it. Alright. Well, I don't see comments. But anyways, so we'll go ahead and get started. I got everything shared out. So if you can hear me, just I guess. So basically, what we have is I have what I use in my trucks. Endura AR60, or they're AR60 style, but they're fuel Wraith size and everything. So they're the same size as the AR60. It takes all the same internals as the AR60 does. Um, these here, I'll open this one up real quick because this is my spare. Because I ended up going on this one here, I ended up going for a front and rear steer. So I got two front ends on there, which I'll have another video on before too long. And I'm actually going to start offering those on my page, affiliated with Endure or anything. It's just I use a lot of them in my builds, and I just because for about $130, um, um, but anyways, but yeah, so I use them online, and for the money, I think they're about $140, $150. Uh, what what they plan on selling them for, and once I get them, I think I'll be selling them for I think 129 plus shipping, which is a little bit lower than what everybody else does, and I plan to stock as long as people are interested in them. But this is how they come. The locker. They come with the locker in them. Come on, focus. They come with a locker in them, which used to be really, really crap. It was just a pot metal locker. This is a lot better. It's a or it's probably molded to something that looks like a compressed compressed metal. But at any rate, um, so the internals of these are a lot better than they were. The axle shafts are actually pretty durable. Um, I've had in this truck here, I've had these axles in here for almost since the beginning, and I haven't broken a shaft yet. I've been using my printed hubs, the flower pot hubs, and I haven't broken an axle yet. I lost front drive, like I was saying, um, I actually lost the the screws back and caused a gap in the gears inside and the some gears and stuff inside, and actually allowed it to slip and destroy the front end. But and then the pin for the hex sheared on one of them, to which I just replaced it and put it back together. I went with a different housing. I was trying to find like a complete metal gear set, um, and I found. Let me get these apart here. And the good thing about these part too, the axles. Um, but you can see the axle tube all over it. I use the silicone earplugs to lock up the diff. You see the shaft? I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can really see it. The shaft's really beef compared to the stock one. And like I said, I haven't had any issues with them. Um, ever since putting them on, and they've just been really good to me. But I'll go ahead and get this pumpkin out of here. What I've been using is I using the hot racing um, metal, but I mean you could use a plastic if you wanted. But I was trying this KXY, um, and it might work better with its own gears because it comes with its own uh, spur or ring and pinion. And they look pretty good. They don't look like pot metal, so they might actually hold up really well. But I didn't use them in this setup. I'm probably going to end up using them. I'll put them in another setup and use them later. I'm just going to go with what's tried and true uh, with what I have, which is the hot racing and the axial internals, which I'll show you here in just a second. And hopefully once I get this done, I got a ramp. I just built a ramp. Um, hoping to get that out and get it tested. Get these cleaned up here. And I just use denatured alcohol to clean everything up, since I happen to have it laying around and everything else, so might as well use it, right? We'll get, like I said, I'm just reusing the old housing, the hot racing housing. I know it works. The problem with the XY, I think the gearing or the mesh is a little bit different. So when I put the new gear on, there's too much slop in the and they separate, which would basically give me the same situation I'm dealing with now. So I'd rather go back with the hot racing. I got new gears. I got several packs of them, and this is actually to change one out, which is pretty good, I guess. And that'll shoot up in there. We'll see how it goes together. If it has a lot of slop, then I got new ones I can use, so I'm not too worried about it. But the gearing I'm using is this right here. This is axial planetary gears. They said I haven't had any of these. Like, I mean, this here was basically my own fault. So I can't really fault the gears. It comes with the 4 gears. The 2 big ones are keyed for the axle shafts. The 2 little ones, um, they go on a common shaft. Yeah, sorry for the mess. Some of you guys with OCD are probably going crazy or cussing me out right now. Um, but these 2 gears, they run on a common shaft. The little O-rings here that don't come with any kit happen to have a box of spares. And that just goes down inside. A little big. They've been in there a while. They've expanded a little bit, but nonetheless. Anyways, O-ring for what I'm doing with it, the O-rings aren't really that big of a deal. Like I said, you can get them. You can get them online. And then these 2 gears, they can opposing each other, and they just slip right down inside the Diff housing. These are a little tight because the old broken ones beating around in there. Just want to make sure they fit in there with no issues. Take it back out, and then you want to put your first, I don't know what gear you'd call it, the ring gear or shaft gear. You put that one in there with the gears facing up. Gear back down in there. Kind of see it down in there a little bit. Alright, then you're going to take your second gear and put it on top. Now, you can use any kind of oil or whatever. I use the silicone earplugs. If you ever had ear infections or anything like that, you probably use these if you go swimming. Just a clear silicone earplugs you can use. It doesn't really matter. Then what you want to do is make sure obviously this is cleaned out as good as you can get it cleaned out. Just pack it down in there. Get it in there nice and tight. You can't really close it. But you definitely want to get it in there at least try to drive all the air out. And this will still allow your differential to slip. So it's not gonna entirely lock it up like if you were to use up here or something like that, which I've done before. But you just pack it full of the silicone. Then you're gonna take your shaft gear and slap it on there like that, and then place your spur and the the housing or the little tiny screws that come with it. Give me just 1 second. Alright, well, I didn't want to talk to them anyways. That come with your hot racing diff cover. And you're going to out of the holes with the silicone, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. Kind of proof positive that you got enough in there. Then you want to tighten them down nice and tight. Like I said, the mistake I made on these originally is I did not tighten them down enough, and just over time the screws loosened up, and that's what caused me to strip out the gears. It wasn't the fault of the gears. It was the way I put it together. So make sure you get all screws nice and tight. Then I've got a little bit of grease inside of here. Re-hit those gears. Alright, so now it's ready to go back in. Got our bearings. And these I've had good luck, and I haven't had to shim them. So I don't know if that's just good luck for me or or what the case is, but I haven't had any problems with both. Alright. And make sure when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you annotate where how your spur gear is sitting on the left or right side of the pumpkin, because you can flip those around, and if you flip it around and you're not paying attention, your drive will go backwards. So just be mindful of that. On this one here, I had grease kind of packed in there a little bit, and I was able to, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But just something to be mindful of. That way you don't get this thing all put back together, and then you gotta take it all back apart again. Let's see here. Alright, so chats aren't showing up here. But anyways, if you're watching, thanks for watching. Like I said at the beginning, I was doing this anyway, so I figured I'd share it with everybody else. Maybe it helps somebody, maybe it won't. But with these axles, like I said, I've had nothing but good luck out of them. I haven't bent one yet. The one problem I do have is, and I'm probably going to go through and change them all, is the button head screws that are used. I think I'm going to go through and get a set of socket caps, which are the square head, and is obviously the screw doesn't change, but the size of the Allen that you use changes, it gets bigger to grip on and less likely to strip out. Because a lot of these, when you get them in there Loctited and everything, it's tend to just strip out. Which I got a couple on this axle here, which I'm dreading digging into when that time comes. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. Um, there's always a way to get them out. May not be the prettiest, but short video. I don't know how successful I'm going to be, but then I'm going to get this thing out. I got a new ramp built, um, and I've also got my other the green monster truck. Some of you guys have seen a lot of. I finally got that together. I'm going to take it out and just do a shakedown on it. I might have some fun on the ramp with it. I don't know. Um, this one here that I'm working on right now is more of my basher that I don't really care what happens to it. The other ones, um, I've kind of grown fond of, so I'd rather not tear it up if I don't have to. But and then getting these axles back in, fun. There we go. But yeah. So, anyways, just kind of recap on these. These are the Endura axles. There's a couple other brands out there, same design. This is the one I just took off the machine. Cage truck, APEP chassis. Made it a 4-wheel steer, and I'll show that to you here in a minute. 4-wheel steer, so that's just the extra rear axle that I have that I'll throw in something. I'm not really a fan of putting these gears back together. These work stands that I made actually work. Keeping the tires off the ground, you can actually work on it and spin it and do everything. Sweet, fell right in. It kind of helps a little bit. Actually work better than I expected. Originally they were only supposed to be for but they actually work really well as a maintenance stand as well. Now I've got all that back in. Everything's turning the way it should. Just cover back on and be one step closer to being finished. So if any of you guys watching this have anything in particular you'd like to see, let me know. Cause I do randomly buy stuff and check it out. That's kind of how I ended up with like these axles, for instance. I went through buying a bunch of different axles because I mean, yeah, you could go with Vanquish or RC or I'm sorry, Freestyle RC, RC 4-wheel drive. Well, yeah. that's a whole different. I went through and I bought all the cheap axles that I could find. Uh, this is one of the first sets that I had. Awful bad, and the housings themselves are really good. The problem that I had with them mainly is there's the metal. It's cast for the most part, and I don't know what they did with screws. Maybe I got a bad one, but the screws they strip out really easy. They don't hold. Whereas on these here, these hold really well, too well. Like I said, I got some of them that are seized in there, and the ones that are actually seized, so um, they hold really well in this aluminum. Um, but yeah, the other ones, I wasn't a fan. Plus the mounting. And I'll show you again here in a second. But the mounting holes, they only got two. So like the difference. So you got two. Obviously, you got your upper link mounts here. You got your upper link mounts. Then you got your lower link and shock or sway bar mounts. Whereas with the Endura, you have your upper mounts across the top here, mounting locations. Three here. You got three mounting locations for your lower link. Then you can even add a shock, or you can add a sway bar up here, or shock up here. So you got several different mounting options here. Whereas with these, you only have two, and it's very limited because the holes are so close together. If you do put lower links on and you put sway bars or shocks on, they bind up really easily because the holes are so. So that's another reason why I didn't like these. I mean, like I said, the housings themselves they held up. They hold up really well. Just some of the screw holes. Not. That's why I stick with these on basically everything. Then I actually, for my crawler, I actually picked up a pair of Wraith axles, which is pretty neat. Um, so we'll see how that goes. I got a video on that on YouTube here, doing its first run, and it worked pretty well. I got a new receiver for it, so I can hook up four-wheel steer now. So we'll see if we can have a little fun with that. All right, so that's and then this will be done. Um, Again, if you like these stands, display stands, run stands, you can actually run the vehicle on it with no problem. Um, they're on the website. Well, if you want to check those out. Like I said, originally they were just meant to be display stands, um, but the way they were built inadvertently made them very stable and rather suitable for run stands as well. And then obviously I'm working on mine now with them, so it's obviously a decent work stand. Um, if you don't have axles on it, it's not going to do you much good. But working on it with the axles on, it's kind of what they're for. With all that being said, that's pretty much it for this. Um, Again, I just used. They said I didn't tighten up the gear or the screws that hold the back of the gear on there. The planetary gears inside the differential. So that was my fault, not Axel's fault. So I'm pretty happy with that. What did I do? Again, here's the part number for the planetary gears for the differential. I probably wouldn't use anything but stock. I've used the cheap pot metal, if you will, versions, and the Enduras, like I said, they come with a locked diff. These here, they come with a locked diff, which I I leave locked in the back. This one happens to be open because it's an older set and I haven't done it. But I leave the back locked and I open the front with silicone earplug in the front to allow it to be locked. But I can also, if I really need to, I can spin them both in bind. You still have enough traction to pull yourself out, but ideally not enough traction to where you're gonna damage something. Hopefully not. So, anyways, that's pretty questions. Please leave them in the comment section below. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe when they come out. I not only do this, but I do stuff with lasers. With my primary business is dealing with lasers. So you'll see some videos on there about that stuff as well. If you're not into that stuff, all right, it's cool, but it's just kind of a joint channel. I don't have time to separate them and try to have two different channels going at one time. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or anything you might want to see in the future on my video to get and try new things and show you guys what's out there. But rest of your Sunday, I'll probably have a quick run video on the Facebook page, AR60, with this one doing some stuff off of a jump I made, and possibly even some of the new APEP chassis that finally got done. Now that I have four-wheel steer on it. But anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.